Nepal is famous for natural beauty, with traces of artifacts and excellent medieval architecture. The Great Himalayan mountain range is a storehouse of perennial snow and the source of a number of large snow-fed rivers, making the country abundant in water resources. It is a multi-ethnic, multilingual, multi-religious and multicultural country. Nepal is hugely vulnerable to various types of natural and human-induced disasters due to its rugged and fragile geophysical structure, high angle of slopes, complex geology, variable climatic conditions, active tectonic processes, unplanned settlements, increasing population, deforestation and environmental degradation. Nepal stands among the top 20 list of the most multi-hazard-prone countries in the world. The country is ranked 4th in terms of climate change, 11th in terms of earthquake, and 30th in terms of flood risks. This makes Nepal one of the most disaster-prone countries in the world. Nepal is witnessing increasing numbers of casualties and damages due to various types of disasters such as floods, landslides, fires, epidemics, glacier lake outburst floods, thunderbolts, earthquakes, heat wave, cold wave, and so on. Each year, all these disasters kill hundreds of people and cause heavy damage to physical properties worth billions of dollars. In the past 10 years, disasters killed 12,431 persons, causing enormous damage to physical properties. Gorkha earthquake 2015 alone killed more than 9,000 people and injured 22,302 persons, resulting in the economic loss of about $7 billion. This devastating earthquake has affected vast parts of Nepal and left deep scars in the economy and infrastructure of the country.
मलाई लाग्छ हामीले प्रकृतिलाई दोष दिन मिल्दैन। त्यो दोष हामीले लिनुपर्छ र यी विपदहरुको सामना गर्ने, यी समस्याहरुको समाधान गर्न हामीले नै ठोस कदम उठाउन जरुरी छ। सरकारले ठोस कदम उठाउन जरुरी छ। त्यस सम्बन्धी ठोस हाम्रा रणनीतिहरु, हाम्रा कानुनहरु, ऐनहरुमा हामीले चाहिँ अझ बढी परिमार्जन गर्नुपर्ने, संशोधन गर्नुपर्ने आवश्यकता छ। समय सापेक्ष हाम्रा नीति योजनाहरुलाई कसरी चाहिँ विकास गर्ने भन्ने सन्दर्भमा आज आवश्यक निर्णयहरु लिएको छ।
It has been realized that less attention was given towards disaster risk reduction in the past. Preparedness at all levels, ranging from household to national levels, was also inadequate. Realizing the above facts, now the government of Nepal has enhanced its efforts to reduce the impact of disasters by coordinating with the non-governmental and private sectors. Nepal is one of the active members of International Disaster Risk Reduction Community and has adopted the major decisions. Nepal was the first country in South Asia to enact Natural Calamity Relief Act 1982. Following the 2015 earthquake, Nepal replaced the Act of 1982 in the year 2017 with Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Act. The Act has made the provision of a National Disaster Management Council upon the chairmanship of the Prime Minister. Now, the government is in the process of establishing a National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Authority under the Ministry of Home Affairs. The government has endorsed the Disaster Risk Reduction National Policy DRRNP 2017 and Disaster Risk Reduction National Strategic Action Plan NSAP 2018 to 2030. The government is soon going to finalize the Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Regulations to back up the Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Act.
Nepal felt the need to start organized approaches towards managing these natural hazards which we cannot avoid and which we cannot stop from happening. Our traditional wisdom, however, guided us with the wisdom that we can reduce the adverse impact of the earthquakes. We developed the National Building Code and started its implementations. We started earthquake education and raising awareness among the population. We started training our masons and technicians about earthquake resistance building constructions. We made the National Building Code mandatory for all urban and urbanizing settlements in the country.
The government created National Reconstruction Authority in December 2015 for 5 years to lead and manage the reconstruction and recovery from the Gorkha earthquake 2015. The overall goal of the National Reconstruction Authority is to promptly complete the reconstruction works damaged by the earthquake and to promote national Build Back Better interest. The National Reconstruction Authority has so far been able to reconstruct 160,978 individual houses, 220 government buildings, 3,636 school buildings, 106 cultural and heritage sites, 643 health facilities, 78 security forces facilities, and 581 water supply schemes.
राष्ट्रिय पुनर्निर्माण प्राधिकरणको आधा समय अहिले भइसक्दा हामीले आधा भन्दा अगाडि गइसकेका छौं 55% भन्दा माथि गइसकेका छौं अब माथिल्लो काम सक्नलाई हामीलाई धेरै समय लाग्दैन मलाई लाग्छ पुनर्निर्माण प्राधिकरणको कार्यकाल थप्नु पर्दैन त्यसपछि पुनर्निर्माणमा नेपालले मलाई लाग्छ 2-4 वर्ष भित्र हामीले एउटा शोकेसिङ पनि गर्न सक्छौं हामीले राम्रो प्रगति गरेका छौं भन्ने मलाई लाग्छ
Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Act, Disaster Risk Reduction National Policy and Disaster Risk Reduction National Strategic Action Plan envision moving from policy or commitment to action, reactive to proactive approach. The main drive of the new legislations is to move forward from managing disasters to managing risks. These steps are a major departure from reactive to proactive approach in the field of disaster risk reduction in Nepal. All these activities and output can be considered as exemplary steps taken by the government of Nepal to show its seriousness towards disaster risk reduction in Nepal.
जोखिम न्यूनीकरण तथा व्यवस्थापनको क्रियाकलापलाई हामीले हाम्रो कल्चरल सेफ्टीको रूपमा लिनुपर्छ भन्ने चाहिँ हामीलाई लाग्छ यो चाहिँ हाम्रो दिनानुदिनको दैनिक क्रियाकलापहरुमै यसलाई हामीले लैजानुपर्छ सरकारले त्यसमा चाहिँ ठूलो सहयोग गरेको छ र सहजीकरण पनि गरेको छ
The Nepal Army, Nepal Police and the Armed Police Force have enhanced their search and rescue capabilities for providing immediate relief to the people. Similarly, Government of Nepal is working with the national and international government and non-governmental organizations, development partners and private sector to ensure that women, children, senior citizens, persons with disabilities and other vulnerable groups may be safe and included in all aspects of disaster risk reduction activities. At the same time, the development of early warning system, the measures that need to be taken as part of the preparedness for floods and earthquakes, information dissemination through media, and mobilization of local communities and organizations are being intensified and expanded.
पूर्व तयारीलाई हेर्ने एउटा छुट्टै सशक्त साधन स्रोत सम्पन्न निकायको खाँचो थियो जुन कि अब नयाँ ऐन यो विपद जोखिम न्यूनीकरण तथा व्यवस्थापन ऐन 2017 आएको छ त्यसमार्फत अब राष्ट्रिय विपद जोखिम न्यूनीकरण प्राधिकरणको गठन हुन लागिरहेको छ। अब त्यो गठन भएपछि अब निश्चित रूपमा कामहरू हुन्छ। विपद व्यवस्थापनको सम्पूर्ण चक्र जुन हुन्छ मिटिगेसन, प्रिपेयर्डनेस, रेस्पोन्स, रिहेबिलिटेसन, रिकन्स्ट्रक्सन यो सबैलाई उत्तिकै प्राथमिकता दिएर सबैलाई ध्यान दिएर निश्चित रूपमा यसमा केही प्रगति हुन्छ भनेर हामीले अपेक्षा गरेका छौँ।
In view of the frequency and intensity of the disasters and their impact on people and infrastructure, the politicians and political parties of Nepal are committed to disaster risk reduction. At present, disaster risk reduction has become a major priority. Similarly, all the 761 federal, provincial and local level government entities have given high priority for disaster risk reduction and have made necessary institutional arrangements and developed legal tools for it.
जुन सेन्डाई फ्रेमवर्क छ हाम्रो जुन सहयोगी डकुमेन्टको रूपमा हामीले त्यसलाई लिएका छौं र त्यसैको आधारमा हामीले भर्खरै सन् 2030 सम्मको लागि विपद जोखिम न्यूनीकरण तथा व्यवस्थापन रणनीति हामीले पास गरेका छौं। त्यसको साथसाथै त्यसको कार्यान्वयन गर्नको लागि हामीले कार्ययोजना समेत पास गरेका छौं। विपद व्यवस्थापन भनेको हाम्रो विकास प्रयासको पहिलो प्राथमिकता हो भन्ने कुराहरू पनि निर्गोल भइरहेको छ। विपद व्यवस्थापन विपद जोखिम न्यूनीकरणमा चाहिँ सरकारी निकायले अग्रसरता लिन्छ, सरकारी निकायले संयोजन गर्छ र यसमा परिचालन गर्ने कुराहरू चाहिँ हामी जति छौं, चाहे सरकारी हौं, चाहे गैर सरकारी हौं, चाहे निजी हौं, चाहे सामुदायिक हौं, सबै चाहिँ परिचालित हुनुपर्छ र यसमा आफ्नो भूमिका निर्वाह गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने छ।
Despite all the efforts, there are serious challenges for Nepal to encounter as Nepal is facing the challenges of a wide variety of disasters. The outrage and frequency of disasters will bring further challenges that warrant visionary approaches. On the other hand, dearth of resources, difficult geographical terrain, undeveloped infrastructure, insufficient modern technology and equipment, small number of qualified and well-trained human resources, lack of preparedness for disaster, increasing population, rapid urbanization, low level of awareness, rural poverty, haphazard construction practices, illegal settlements, and over-exploitation of natural resources are other challenges that need to be met.
अहिलेको जुन नीतिहरू छ ऐनहरू छ त्यसमा गैर सरकारी राष्ट्रिय तथा अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय गैर सरकारी संस्थाहरूको निजी क्षेत्रको अनि समावेशीका कुराहरू पनि छ र कार्ययोजना पनि त्यस्तै गरी आउनुपर्छ भन्ने हाम्रो एउटा जोरदार आह्वान पनि थियो सरकारसँग र ती कुराहरू समेटेका पनि छन् र कार्यान्वयनमा पनि पक्कै पनि सरकार र स्थानीय तहले हातैमालो गरेर नै हामी अगाडि बढ्छौं भन्ने लागेको छ।
Keeping in view the current disaster trends in Nepal, recognition of the importance of reducing disaster risk and building resilience with a goal against which efforts could be measured must be a major contribution to meeting the challenges to be faced with sustainable development. Moreover, integration of disaster risk reduction and poverty reduction should be the part and parcel of the wider goal of mainstreaming disaster risk reduction into development. Hence, to face the existing challenges, it is essential that proactive measures should be taken by both the government and the private sector. The agencies involved in disaster risk reduction should be made resourceful, with the objective of strengthening the capacity at all levels of the government. Yet another need for Nepal is the development of voluntarism for disaster management. This is high time for us to think globally and act locally by building an aware, prepared and empowered community in order to combat disasters. We should identify the hazards by adopting preventive measures to build a safer Nepal before it's too late, as proactive measures are always better than reactive measures.